Alright, fellas, this was another amazing chapter, so we're just going to get straight into it. Oh my god, Boa Hancock versus Kobe was pretty cool, you know, and then we got Blackbeard showing up. What are you talking about? Blackbeard is mad. Holy shit, he definitely deserves that Yonko title. He brought back that Marineford chaos, which I love to see. But also, Rayleigh shows up. We get Marco being asked to join the Shanks, the red hair pirates, and declines. And we also get an actual good reason why Yamato didn't join the crew. Like, this chapter has been crazy, wild, unbelievable. Now, I loved it so much. There was so much. And I'm pretty sure, now you can correct me if I'm wrong on this, but I am pretty sure Blackbeard showed off his first display of actual hockey this chapter against the PXs, I'm going to call them, because pacifistas. Right? Because we see here when he's fighting the King Parafista lookalike, he uses armament hockey. So, okay, we got is Morge in the dirt yet? No, we don't have the Conqueror's hockey confirmed or not. But oddly enough, and I'd like to point this out, do we assume that the only thing that can stop you from going from, you know, basically turn to stone is Conqueror's hockey? Like, if you're actually attracted to her. Because Blackbeard, unless Blackbeard turns out to be, I know isn't Blackbeard bi, so maybe that's why he's like not impressed. He's like, oh, I've seen this shit before. Maybe that could be why. But in my opinion, the only other way besides being not attracted to Boa, you can actually prevent it, is probably by having Conqueror's hockey. Like how Law's room can't really affect like Kaido and Big Mom in terms of their basic ability. So I don't know. In my opinion, the Blackbeard no Conquerors movement's in the mud after this chapter. We got the bounty reveals though, boys. We got Boa Hancock is 1.659 bill. And Blackbeard is 3.996. I don't know why you just didn't round it up to 4 Billy, but you know what? We'll do it. Whatever. Kobe, I wish they used Kobe as an example to show off the Marine ranking system, because it would have been really cool to see Kobe's bounty. I'm not gonna lie, it would have been fucking fire to see Kobe's bounty. I would have loved to see it. But Kobe, I don't know. I love to see Kobe. Kobe just, I don't know, to see him in that Marine jacket, it's just sick. I've been rereading, as you know, the early parts of One Piece. And originally I thought, right, Kobe and Boa are going to become mates or whatever. They're going to be all chill with each other. But I get now why they're not. Because if you think about it, Kobe specifically mentions that he will go after Luffy, basically, right? If they come into contact, they will go after Luffy. He tries to a Marineford. He only doesn't in Ennis Lobby because Garp isn't there to capture him in the first place. So he's like, I'm not going to do shit. Right? And my whole thing is, it's good to see him actually try and be a Marine, you know, not be a pirate simp. But I don't know why I use that phrase. Forgive me. I don't know. I'm too tired. My English has gone down the drain. I have to resort to such, I don't know. Also, the effect for Blackbeard's Devil Fruit, I just want to point this out while I'm looking at this beautiful, beautiful spread, is gorgeous. Oh my god. When Blackbeard's holding, like, Boa by the neck, right? When he's holding her by the neck and, like, the effects on his arm and shit, and Kobe just standing there, like, he looks real small, but also very imposing, oddly enough. But I do think, right, for someone who, you know, I'm sure I've gave Blackbeard a lot of shit in the past. Well, I don't necessarily think I have. But I know he was definitely besides Big Mom, probably my least favorite Yonko out of them all, because I just loved Whitebeard and Kaido so much, and Shanks, right? But honestly, I'm happy with how Blackbeard, because Blackbeard's been in secret for ages, hasn't done much. He brought the chaos for the Marineford War, brought everything down, shaking everything, like, and he's, if anything, right, and I'm going to say this now, I feel like he's a better Big Mom because he brings that same chaos, just a different level of it, right? He just destroys everything, but he knows what he's doing, but he's also methodical, so it's a beautiful combination of it, and I really enjoy it, because he's just swinging his arms around, fucking causing earthquakes with the Gura Gura no Mi, which I really love for him, because he's a real chaotic character seen on Marineford, and I feel like with Big Mom, you know, having her amnesia shite and all that and all this stuff. Like, she was great chaos. That's what I loved about Big Mom. And if Blackbeard's gonna do the job of Big Mom way better, like, come on, boys. Big Mom just got replaced by Big Blackbeard, lads. And that panel, and he also seems like a proper pirate. You know, he's out getting stuff. He's doing what he wants. He's a bitter bastard. You know, he's not. He seems like the right villain for a pirate story, and I just think this chapter is really proving that to me. And I actually would love the idea now with this chapter and everything involving it, right? Kobe gets captured by Blackbeard. I'm assuming there's like a consolation prize because he can't go after Boa, because Rayleigh just shows up and is like, all right, lads, no, I'm having none of that, boys. You're not going after Boa, none of that, right? He pulls up, gets his sword unsheathed. It's not a black blade, everybody. So I don't know. I hope he did have a black blade at some point, but it's going to be really hard to explain. You know, when this whole black blade stuff is explained, like why people like Shanks and Roger and Rayleigh don't have black blades. Arguably, you could explain it about anyone else, but it just doesn't make sense to me when trying to explain it about Rayleigh. Especially because everyone says, oh, he was the greatest swordsman before Mihawk now, because of that video from Grand Line where it was like, look at the coats. The coats are the key. You know what I mean? The coats are the key, everybody. Look, it's a blue version of Mihawk's coat. The coat is the key. Alright. But that's my point, right? Rayleigh not having a black blade is a bit weird. But still, I always love it when Rayleigh rocks up. I think he's my favorite Roger pirate. I don't know. By far. Because I like Shanks, right? I do like Shanks. And the movie made me like him better. But man, I think I prefer Rayleigh. Especially old Rayleigh. Young Rayleigh looks a bit weird because he doesn't have a beard. So he's just kind of got two lines here. But old Rayleigh looks sick. And especially his introduction, man. So, like, to have him again just square up to Blackbeard. He's just like, nah, I'm having none of this, boys. I'm squaring off the Blackbeard. And lads, alright? I know people were like, Shocky's part of the Rocks Pirates. Nah, he just rocks up, right? He rocks up and he's like, okay, we're gonna save these girls. And then he goes, now, I don't know if this is right or not, but in my version of events, because I can't remember the timeline given in the Boa flashback, him and Shocky, I'm assuming they saved the kids together. So something happened, and he just basically gets on Amazon Lily and like basically seduces Shocky, saves the girls from the slavery, and then their queen fucks off, and then Boa's put in power. Like, come on, lads. I mean, 2 generations ago, right? So she could have been like, that could have been the big achievement of Rocks. Like, he conquered Amazon Lily for ages, and like that was part of the history that was taken away, and maybe Shocky was a part of that. She removed that history. Imagine the man that the old lady fell in love with was Rocks. Imagine if that, oh my god, that'd be so funny. And actually, wait a second, if I go back here, right, the granny, so is that Shocky's mother? Is that what we're saying here, right? Because she's more than a generation ago, right? Because Shocky looked younger than this one. I don't know. I don't know. So this is Shocky's mother, is it? Is that how it works now? Because they're generational mostly, isn't it? Besides, like, power, I think, is also another way to do it. Which I'm very interested in, personally. I don't know about yous. But this chapter, though, is crazy with it, right? It's crazy. There's so many different things. So much small things and so much large things to deal with. But there's the Kobe stuff. Kobe getting kidnapped. And Vivi gone missing. Sabo starting a revolution. This final saga is going to be a wild ride. And I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be so much fun talking about it every Friday. And then hopefully 1 or 2 videos else in the week. Obviously, you know, leaving cert year, so not too much. I'll have to be conservative. And the reason this is out pretty late is because I have guests over. So I had to huddle away to my room when they weren't upstairs and like, time to record a video, you know. But no, what was I saying? Yeah, the Shacky stuff is very interesting because Rayleigh is just, the Rayleigh feats are gone up. Although they say here, progress sometimes causes new problems. Even, okay, no, this isn't important. Here, it's like, circumstances allow me to resolve things with my reputation. I've gotten old. So we're assuming he can't beat Blackbeard, but I'm also assuming, right, Rayleigh could have rocked up to Wano just like Shanks and taking out Green Bull. So I think Blackbeard should be way more respected after this. The fact Rayleigh saying here that he would have lost to Blackbeard is a feat for Blackbeard in himself, I believe, personally. I don't know what you guys think, but that is my opinion, that this is a feat for Blackbeard. I'm excited. I am very excited. I'm not going to lie to you. I am hyped as fuck. We got the Pacifistas looking like King, giving King some extra importance, meaning we're going to get that lorddom someday, but it's going to be Final War stuff. And also, we're going to... Oh, man. I know Blackbeard is like the perfect villain for Luffy to face off of, but just hear me out here, right? If we get Kobe fighting Blackbeard, the pinnacle of the pirates, you know, all that, and at the pinnacle of the pirates, to take down Blackbeard and become the admiral, right? By taking down Blackbeard or becoming a admiral or something. And then Luffy fights Emu, so we get two amazing final villains with like Kobe, because like Kobe's been set up now, right, where he's kidnapped by Blackbeard. They're probably on Hachinosu. Law's definitely going to Hachinosu now, especially if the whole theory about him being part of Sword is true, because then we can have it where he kind of allies with Blackbeard, sort of like, or he like antagonizes Blackbeard and helps Kobe escape. Like, I don't know what they're going to do here, but I do think Law, we're going to have an interesting news report at the end of the next arc with Law, or something that happened with Law and Blackbeard. We might even have an alliance set up and Luffy will be like, what the fuck? I also think it's going to be interesting when Luffy gets to Boa, and Boa tells him all the events, and she obviously knows why Kobe was kidnapped. So that's probably when we're going to figure it out. And that's going to be really interesting, because at that point you're going to be like, well, he's gonna be like, bro, I'm dropping my shit. Kobe's a bud. We're gonna save the guy. We're gonna go after him, and that might cause the conflict between Blackbeard. Oh man, this chapter, there's so many possibilities, and I don't know if we're going to Sphinx Island anymore, because Marco was left off Sphinx Island. Then we had a flashback where they interacted with Luffy, which I will say, okay, that was cool to see, but I think that might mean we're not going to Sphinx Island. I thought it made sense at one point. But at this point, if they're not going to Sphinx Island, it would also make sense why Luffy, you know, why they put this interaction in here. Because it was a cool interaction and everything. But if we were going to Sphinx Island, you probably didn't need it. So I think Elbath's next, boys. I think it's either Vera or Elbath at this point. I think Sphinx Island is off the table after this interaction, because I feel like that was a big carrying point, you know. He didn't interact with Marco the whole arc. So we're going to go to Sphinx Island. There's going to be a Marco interaction, a whole thing about Ace and all that, right? But nah, I'm starting to think not, because we're going to have a thing where Luffy sort of, he's already got told by Marco Ace would be proud and stuff. I still think my video about Sabo, that could definitely work, and we could have them go to Sphinx Island. But I feel like if you're taking what they have shown us so far and not my own headcanon, I don't think Sphinx Island is going to happen right now, which makes me think Vivi is on Elbath. It would make sense. You got the whole crew from Green Island, from what the fuck, Dory and Broggy's island. How can I not remember the island? Fucking anyway, from the Dory and Broggy arc is what I'm going to call it, right? Together again. And it's good. It's really good stuff. There's possibilities. Oda has us guessing, which is the perfect way to be, because that leads to discussion and stuff. But I'm excited. Really, I am. It's been amazing. It's been amazing this past few chapters, to be honest. And like, I know people were down on the final chapter of Wano, and to be honest, retrospectively, Oda's making it alright. It's still probably the worst out of all the ending chapters, but Oda's making it alright. Because I didn't want to talk about Yamato, because I wanted to kind of leave Wano as it is, but still, Wano is going to be important for the upcoming arc, so I guess we're going to have to not avoid talking about it. We're going to have to talk about it. So Yamato basically says, alright, I'm not going because of Green Bull. Like, everyone was like, that's the logical reason. Why the fuck you going? I'm Odin bull crap. But it makes sense now, because Zoro's like, be careful, he has pride, don't wound it. So she came up with that idea to basically just save Momo the hassle of, you know, wounding his pride. Which, you know what, respect to Yamato, because He is using that gag to great effect, which I respect. Because the thing is with Yamato is he's had this whole thing about being Odin for a while, and it makes sense, like in a way, like being the person you admire, but it goes a bit far, right? Because you can be Yamato and emulate the person you admire, and he can do that, obviously. He doesn't have to be Odin himself, because in a way, as I've said before, there might be a cover story where he is traveling Wano, and he is showing that it is disrespectful to call yourself someone so great, because you can emulate them, you can become a person like them, but to say you are that person is kind of disrespectful to that person and their legacy. I don't know. Maybe that's what he'll learn on his trip or whatever, and he'll just say, I am Yamato, son of Kaido. That is who I am, right? Because at the end of the day, he sees himself as the son of Kaido. He still says that. So the Odin thing seems a bit useless now, because it seems like he's accepted that he is related to Kaido, and he has moved on with that, and he's like, I am the son of Kaido, it is what it is, right? And like, I feel like that's important for him to learn and to move past, and to be that torchbearer of like the past doesn't have to be a stickler, because he is the offspring of the person who ruined their lives, and he is now going to look after the Shogun. So it's going to be important. History is going to be important. And the way now that you're talking about this it's actually very good writing from Oda. But I will say, still don't like that final chapter. This could have been in the flashback. You could have had this, like, this is all one page. Like, what? Let's go back to that chapter now, actually, just to wait, can I open in another tab? Duplicate tab, right? We're going to go back to that chapter, and I'm just going to see if you can replace a panel with that flashback, right? It was 1-7, wasn't it? Let's go back here, right? Because personally to me, okay, and I'm going to say this right now. Oh, fucking loading problems ain't that great. Personally to me, I did want Yamato to join the crew. He just the idea of him standing next to Luffy, right? Zoro and Yamato conquers Haki it up. Oh, and now Nami, boys. Never mind, we don't need Yamato. Nami's getting conquers Haki. We don't need Yamato. He's fine. He can stay where he wants to stay. But yeah, so we get this flashback where they're talking. Obviously, this stuff's important here with all the talking about Hiyori. That's obviously important. But here where they talk about that, you get a flashback of all the important stuff he did for Momo. Right? And in my opinion, you could have probably, there's a panel here, there's a like, right, let me see, what could you have taken out? If you, I mean, if you took out the guy, like the final pay, like the gag where they were jumping off the waterfall, which I know was quite funny. But if you took out that gag page and added in that flashback, the chapter might have been so much better. But then it's weird because there is so much in the chapter that you can't really cut out because it's very focused on Momo and Luffy. So it's weird. It is weird, but in my opinion, personally, I think you could have cut out one panel, even like shortened the first panel of the chapter and just had that flashback chapter put in. So Yamato's thinking about it where he goes in this panel, he goes, oh, I don't think it's that big a deal. And then you could have had a flashback to that. And that could have basically sorted it all out in the heads. Then it'd be good, but whatever. It passes the past. But what I'm saying is it retroactively makes makes Wano's ending better, in my opinion. You could make that assumption in your head, but the thing about assumptions in your head is it's just a coping mechanism. Until it's actually put in the story, a lot of the time it's just speculation, and when it comes to the ending of a story, you kind of want it to be concrete. So it's good to see. I think this chapter is just accelerating everything. Also, can we just say the Marines got such a massive amp, because the Admirals are just further in the mud because we got pacifistas that are Admiral level by the looks of things, making Blackbeard and Emperor of the Sea kind of have to sweat. And if that's happening, boys, Green Bull barely able to deal with some scabbards. Lads, the Admirals are in the dirt. The pacifistas are where it's at for the Marines, lads. I swear, man. It is so good to see. We're getting the Marines have a power up. The pirates are having power ups with like the Cross Guild and all this. And then Sabo's revolutionaries. Every single faction of the One Piece world is getting ready for war, and it is exciting. And Kobe, Aokiji, and Law are possibly going to be in the same place. Can we talk about how hype that is going to be, right? You're going to be in Elbath for what? 40 chapters? Like, no, probably 15 chapters. 15 chapters, probably a full Odin flashback worth of chapters, right? Probably. Maybe 10 or 5 or 10 chapters. And what are we going to get? We're going to be thinking about Aokiji, Kobe, and Law the whole time, because we're all assuming that they're all going to be on Hachinosu, and that is going to be crazy. Oh my god, this chapter, man. There's so much to it. We can talk about this chapter for hours. But with that being said, I will leave it there because I have talked. Because that is it for today's review, in my opinion. I will talk more. We'll have more stuff out this week and over the coming weeks about One Piece and stuff. But as for the chapter review, I'm going to call it quits here. Thanks for watching, everybody. I hope you enjoyed this chapter as much as I did. And with that being said, I'll see you all next time. Goodbye. Hey, alright. I mistimed it terribly, but whatever.